Hello friends. Today I'm explaining the movie After Everything. This movie is very romantic and suspenseful story. This is the last and final part. The movie starts from the wedding venue, and behind it, we hear Hardin's voice, who says that love never loses. If it's true, he finds his way. It seemed that finally Hardin and Tessa's love won, but it was nothing like that. It was just Hardin's thought. If you have not seen the After series part of this movie yet, then go and watch it first, so that you can understand this movie easily. I have given the all link in the description. Welcome to our channel Maxi Blunt. Now let's start the story again. Here in the present we see that Hardin was alone, trying to write his novel. He thinking everything. Because of his Tessa and his life-written novel. Tessa was upset with him again, because he published the novel without Tessa's permission. After which Tessa is just ignoring him. And Hardin is completely broken. He just wanted to show the world that a person can always go for the best. Now she decides to leave him alone forever. Hardin's fault was that she thought he was writing her own story. But actually it was their story. After thinking all this, Hardin messages Tessa again. She was just ignoring her message. And finally her reply comes. But she tells Hardin to move on, because she has already done it. As soon as this message is read, Hardin feels as if someone has snatched his breath. But still he is sure that their story is not over yet. Because he cannot even think of his life without Tessa. In the next scene, we see that Hardin goes to the club to meet his publisher. She asks him to give the draft of the next novel soon. Because if he keeps delaying like this, people will forget him. No one will want to read his novel again. His publisher had already given him the advance. That is why she was putting a lot of pressure on Hardin. Then she sees Hardin drinking. Then she left him. But now Tessa is not with him. So he does it again. After which he gets completely drunk. And every girl dancing in front of him looks like Tessa. And Hardin goes to her and kisses her. After which he comes home with his publisher and his friend. He falls asleep remembering Tessa. The publisher and both of them start having fun. The next morning they both talk about Hardin, where the publisher warns his friend that he should get rid of Hardin. Because he still has not forgotten Tessa, and probably never will. Hardin overhears both of them, and angrily tells them both to stop talking about him. After which he goes out saying he has a meeting, but we see that he has gone to meet his parents, who are very worried about him. Hardin still cannot accept that the person whom he considered to be his mother's friend is actually his father. His parents try to convince him a lot, but now at the stage where Hardin is, he doesn't need anyone's advice. If he needs anything, it is only Tessa. Finally, his father leaves for a meeting, and Hardin's mother asks him to go somewhere else for a new start, so that he can think ahead with a fresh mind. Along with this, she mentions a girl named Natalie. Hardin's ears perk up on hearing her name. His mother tells him that I don't know much about Natalie, but she has moved on. And now she is in Portugal. When Hardin comes home, he tries to write the book again. But he gives up, and starts boxing to end his anger. And with this, he only remembers those scenes of the past, in which Tessa was with another boy. After that, he sees Tessa's post on Instagram with a boy, on which he thinks that he is her boyfriend. In the next scene, we see Hardin in the flight. Is he going to take his mother's advice seriously and start afresh? An air hostess asks him to have food. Hardin just asks for alcohol, which she also understands that he is a failed lover. So, she immediately starts flirting with such a handsome guy on seeing him. And Hardin also takes her flirting seriously, and starts romancing with her in the corner. But in the next scene we come to know that it was just her dream. We see that Hardin has reached Portugal, where he went for none other than Natalie. Finally, while searching for her, he reaches her shop. Natalie is shocked to see him. Hardin tells her that I have come here to correct my mistake. But Natalie asks him to leave as she is busy. Hardin leaves from there disappointed. After this, he goes to a bar to drink alcohol. And we are shown the scene 5 years ago. He was playing cards with his friends in the garage. Natalie comes to the garage to get her car checked. She leaves the garage because her owner was not there. Hardin and his friend talk about Natalie. He says that Natalie is the most beautiful and virgin girl in his college, who does not date any boy. Here Hardin and his friends make a bet. He says that Hayden will make her fall madly in love with him. and will force her to lose her virginity. Hardin's friends were not ready to believe him, so they asked him to make a video, and Hayden accepts the challenge. In the present, Hayden gets a message from Natalie to meet him. Hardin sends her his location, and she comes to the place mentioned by him. The scene of the past is shown again, where Hayden wins Natalie's heart and brings her to his room, and asks her to make a video as a sign of their love. And he convinces her to make a video of them romancing for the first time. And that crazy girl agrees. And in this way what Hardin said came true, and he won the bet. And maybe he has come here to apologize to Natalie for this mistake. Natalie reaches him in the present, where both of them were very uncomfortable, but still tries to talk. Hardin asks Natalie, how did you come here? You were going to go to the university. Natalie tells him that I have lost my scholarship, and all that was going on in my life. Because of this I forgot to apply for student loan. I had no support, and so I found a place which was cheap, and where no one knows him. That's why I came here. After hearing all this, Hardin feels very bad. He starts apologizing to Natalie, and thinks in his mind that I wish I could correct the past mistakes, so that he can make everything right. But Natalie had already moved on, and she asks him to do the same, after which both of them go for lunch, where they spend a good time together. Natalie had to go for some important work, then both hug. While leaving, Natalie tells Hardin that I have read your book, and I liked it very much. Then she asks about Tessa. Then Hardin puts a stone on his heart and says that I have spoiled everything as usual, and I have left her. In the next scene, Hardin tries to sleep, and the scene goes back to the past, where Natalie comes crying and wakes him up. And Hardin comes to know that their video has gone viral. He gets upset and reaches his friend, who has sent the video to who knows whom. Hardin gets very angry at him, but his friend shuts him up by saying that, you made this video, and you sent it to me. You yourself are responsible for this. In the present, remembering this, he wakes up. He was not able to sleep, so he starts trying to write a book. But he was unsuccessful in this too. Then Natalie calls him for a party, where she tells everyone that Hardin is her first crush. Seeing Natalie and Hardin meeting each other, Natalie's male friend gets jealous. He asks her to dive on the cliff. Natalie refuses to do so because of the danger, but Hardin saw in his eyes that he is challenging him, so he agrees. Hardin, gathering a lot of courage, jumps into the water. But even after a long time he does not come out. So everyone starts worrying about him not coming out. But what was going to happen to Hardin? He comes out of the water and tells everyone that he was just disturbing them, after which he starts swimming in the water. Like in the first part of this movie, he brought Tessa for swimming, so both of them had a lot of fun. And he just kept looking at her. And here they shared their first kiss, which was the cutest moment of the movie. When he comes out of the water, Natalie comes to him and asks him if you are okay, to which Hardin says with tears in his eyes that I will be fine. He was roaming here and there restlessly. The picture of Tessa and Hardin was playing in his laptop. After coming back home, Hardin gathers a lot of courage and sends a message to Tessa. He tries to be better for her, and he misses her a lot. The scene changes to a place where she wakes up and reads a message, and she gets sad as she touches the bed, as if she wants to see Hardin near her. But in the next scene we see Hardin and Natalie again, where she takes Hardin to the boat after a morning walk. They spend a good time together and try to forget their sadness. Hardin tells her that he is unable to write his second novel. As long as he had Tessa with him, everything was good. Now he is unable to understand what to write in the novel next. When Natalie comes to know that Hardin had published the novel without Tessa's permission, she also feels very bad, because if a girl's private things become public without her permission, then what is her fear and pain? No one can understand better than Natalie. Still, Natalie shows Hardin her dream house, which is far from the city. Hardin feels lonely, but Natalie said that if he lives with his special life partner, then maybe he will be happy for the rest of his life. On hearing Natalie's words, Hardin goes back to the past, where he was sitting in the same boat of his future with Tessa, and was planning to live happily ever after together. And then maybe they did not think what color life would show. In the next scene, Hardin goes to Natalie and her friends to party. When Hardin refuses, Natalie goes to dance with her friends. Then her male friend comes back to Hardin, who tells him that Natalie did not tell him. But he knows that Hardin is the guy who ruined Natalie's life. When Natalie came here, her life was fine. Now that she is fine, Hardin has come again to trouble her. Both of them fight over this matter. And then his friend also starts beating Hardin. No one can stop him. Hardin gets badly injured. Then the police comes and puts him in jail. He wanted to be a good person, but ended up in jail. His father comes and gets him bail, and tries to convince him. First his stepbrother gives him Landon's wedding card, because he was not picking up Landon's phone. After which he explains to him that love is not something to be got. Like even after loving each other very much, your mother is happily living a married life with someone else. By the way, you can also move forward in life by keeping Tessa in your heart. Forming a new relationship does not mean that old relationships should be forgotten. But if it is written in your fate to meet, then this will also happen. But you will have to be patient at your time. But if you keep doing this, then Tessa will never come back to you. With all these emotional things, he tells Hardin that I love you very much. And I will always love you. And not only this, I will always support you. So you can come to me anytime. Hearing all this, Hardin becomes a little normal, and decides to take this advice seriously, and says stay here for some time. After that, we see a new Hardin in the next scene, who throws away all the alcohol while cleaning the house, and tries to become a good person. Then Natalie comes to him. She is happy to see him improving, and she tries to kiss him emotionally, but Hardin backs off, because he did not want to do anything wrong with Natalie again. This thing increases Natalie's respect for Hardin in her heart, that she is forgetting everything and giving him another chance. But still Hardin loves only Tessa. So he explains that now Natalie deserves only such a person, who accepts her wholeheartedly, and can give her all the happiness. Natalie gets impressed by Hardin's words, and leaves from there. After that Hardin calls Landon, and tells him that I will definitely come to your wedding. In the next scene Hardin starts writing the novel, and after completing the novel he goes to meet Natalie, gives Natalie the draft to read. Natalie is surprised, but Hardin tells her that I am learning from my past mistakes. That's why today I have brought this novel to you, because you are also in this novel. So before publishing it I need your permission, which Natalie promises to read and reply soon. Then he hugs Natalie, and leaves for Landon's wedding. While spending some time in the city before the flight, Hardin only wants to remember the good memories of himself and Tessa. And in the flight, Natalie's message comes which gives him permission to publish the novel. In the next scene we see Natalie, who actually gets a gift from Hardin, which contained the keys to the house in which Natalie always dreamed of living. And in the letter it was written that this is a small effort to return her happiness. Here the scene shifts to Landon's wedding. Here Tessa gets nervous seeing Hardin after so many days. They just keep looking at each other in the wedding. Then Hardin's heart breaks after seeing Tessa laughing with another boy. Then his father tells him that he is just Tessa's friend. Hardin cleverly asks Tessa to dance, and he starts talking to her, and they start talking cute again. He talks to Tessa while dancing. Then he is asked to give a speech for Landon's wedding. So he says that I am very happy for Landon, that he got his love, because no one can know better than me. What is the pain of losing love? Then Tessa leaves from there crying, and Hardin goes after her. And both of them decide to come together by giving up in front of their love. Both of them apologize for all their past mistakes, and start a new life, which both of them were waiting for very eagerly. After that Hardin without wasting much time proposed Tessa for marriage, and also gives a final kiss. And in the last scene we see that Hardin goes inside the house, where Hardin's lovely family was waiting for him, in which Tessa was his daughter and the upcoming child. And with this the tragic love story of Hardin and Tessa reaches its conclusion, where both have to face many difficulties for their love. But in the end their love wins. Thanks for watching. For more explanation subscribe to our channel.